I've been going to my local fish store, One Fish, Two Fish in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia for many years, but I've never gotten to see the store owner's personal aquariums at his house. Until today. Jeff?
You made it.
I made it. Who's this?
Let me introduce you to the little people. We got Fred, we got Barney, we got Pebbles, and we got Wilma.
So we met your dogs.
Met the dogs.
Let's go meet your fish.
I was gonna say, let's go meet the furry, or the not so furry pets. I knew I was going to get this from the start. I haven't had a personal fish tank it was going on 10 years.
Oh, damn.
I was at the store so often in the beginning that I just didn't like to do anything when I got home. It was just...
But you're a saltwater hobbyist.
This saltwater was what... I knew I was doing this. This was...
I knew I never liked you.
Yeah, no, saltwater at heart for sure.
So it's 7 feet by around 3 feet. It's a really big tank, but being in a big space kind of makes it look small. But that's big. Go stand up beside it.
Oh yeah, no, it's
that's a big tank.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got one of those matte filters.
Filter rollers.
Filter rollers.
So I'll tell you that for me, and actually I've heard from some people they think they work too well. They take too much out of the water. So what it does is just this is the motor to it. This is you put a new roll here, and then it rolls over to this, so it goes all the way down underneath here. It sits under here. When it gets all full of algae, the water will fill up. This will tell it. It'll just roll it up a little bit. It'll sink the water back down. It'll do the exact same thing. Keeps doing. So like I can.
It's your mechanical filtration.
Yeah, basically.
Are the rolls expensive?
For mine, I think they're around $30, but that gives me like 2 months.
Oh.
And really, it takes me 3 minutes to do it. If you've ever done filter socks, that replaces filter socks.
They'll take out uneaten food, all kinds of stuff. And then the dirty one's just here.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's exactly right. So you put the new here, dirty here. When it's ready, I take them both off, get rid of that, put the new one on here, put them back, roll it underneath, and pitter patter.
I thought this was going to stink. And I got to check it out because I've always wanted one of these. But no, it just smells like a fish tank. This is mechanical, and then basically whatever
just a refugium,
nutrient export, and
return
then a protein
pump skimmer over on the side.
The skimmer is the most important portion of this, and then all of your bacteria and live rocks in here.
Yeah, exactly. I do very little, to be honest. I do a water change every week. One thing I did do that made it easier for me was this part. So I did leave myself a little space for all of this mess, just so I didn't have to kind of deal with it out in my sitting area that's what I do.
This is those Neptune things?
Yeah, it's a full Apex system. There's an Apex, a Trident, dosers. I haven't bothered swapping out my doser for the new ones because I don't care. So this is the Trident here. This is what will test your alkalinity, magnesium, and calcium. It tests it every constant day.
Where is all this going?
So it goes all right through the wall.
Oh, and then you're mixing your salts here with your...
This is just for my auto top off.
Which is, let me find it. Oh, is this it?
That's it there. It's a 500 gallon a day Aqua FX, what's it called? Bluefin.
Do you do the whole house
I
too?
do nothing, just my fish tank. And then I just have a mixer and just leave a power head kind of on it as well.
Oh, so this isn't top off.
This is just RO water. This is just auto top off for condensation stuff that goes.
Auto top off?
Yeah, auto top off. And then when I do a water change,
500 gallons a day just for auto top off. I think you overdid it.
Well, no, I do water changes out of this too, right? Yeah. So this is a 55 gallon drum. Those do 50 gallons, so it's super easy.
Oh,
just cut open the bag, dump it in, shut the auto top off. I've got another little disgusting mess room that has all of my just different fish stuff in it. That is a pump by Seche. Yeah. That is a phenomenal thing. Really? That will actually this thing is awesome.
I've been thinking about getting one because it sucks from the bottom, eh?
Exactly. Well, the thing is, it's made for a Python hose.
Oh, and it even
you just put that right on there. I drop that in there, bring this over to the tank, and I can do whatever I want.
And it's like
yeah, it's a bottom fed. It just comes from right there.
It's literally right there.
It will literally go down to like nothing to an inch of
How many gallons an hour?
I don't know how much. It's not insane powerful. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you can. And then I also have this next to it that goes right to my outside because I didn't want to dump salt water in my septic system and all that jazz. So it goes right to the outside. So it just
there's a sump pump down there.
Right out. Boom, boom. Yeah, exactly.
I knew I was going to probably see something like this, like all the best products and everything that you sell at the store. But I've had ick recently, and that's like, you reached out after you saw the video, and you're like, my tank just had ick, and we have a new medicine in Canada. You probably want to come get a bottle of it.
So I have.
Well, you could have shipped it to me because you ship anywhere in Canada, but I was like, I kind of wanted.
You kind of had to come see this thing anyway. It's been a minute that I wanted to get it looking good before I showed it to you. So, so I did what most people do. If you've noticed, I don't have a quarantine tank anywhere. I should. I don't. Like most people don't. About 3 months ago, I did something stupid. There's a couple other fish that I wanted for this tank. I brought them in, and instead of doing anything with them, I just dropped them directly into my tank. They are fish. Yeah, I know.
Tisk.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I yell at people for doing, I did the same thing. The reason I did it is because the fish I wanted were fish that do much better in my tank. They just don't take the quarantine super well. One was an Achilles tang. And when you're paying $500 for the fish, I knew he would love it in there, and he did. He went in, he was eating, he was swimming, he was great. About 3 or 4 days in, I noticed some ick on him. I kind of didn't panic. I probably should have. And then a couple days later, he was loaded with ick. So I knew there was a product sort of being developed. I had a sample bottle of it to try for myself. They weren't ready with it yet, but I said, what the hell? I wasn't going to catch everything in this. I knew I wasn't. I didn't have a spot to put them anyway, and with all the corals, no medication works. There was nothing I could use to treat. So I had a bottle of this. Basically what it does is when it gets in the water, it just makes it so that it can't swim around. I was told by the guy that made it, who just happens to be a scientist at the university here, that it would not hurt my coral. Before I dumped it in, I confirmed with him, just said, this is going to kill tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. He said, you're fine, go ahead, it's fine. So I said I had nothing to lose with it. I dumped it in. I want to say 5 days before I started to see real improvement.
So what is this going to do?
This is going to go in your water, and it is going to make the ick stop swimming in your water. Now for you...
Oh, it paralyzes them.
Paralyze. It's exactly, basically, you're reading exactly right.
It's not going to kill it, but it paralyzes it so that what, like it starves to death?
It's a game changer for reef
after,
tanks.
After the ick that I had, I am seeing loss of appetite, and this will help with it.
It definitely will.
I'm seeing them a little bit more beat up, and I'm worried about adding them to the main aquarium. And I have fry in that tank as well. So I'm curious. Can I have a bottle of this? Yeah. Is this the stuff I came for? All right, perfect. Are you going to start carrying this, or what's on the go?
So it's actually, it will be available in like the store, the wholesaler guys, which is not me, but the wholesalers in Ontario and anyone in Canada will know. Any of your local fish stores, just have them ask their wholesaler, it will be there. But it's on Amazon right now. Amazon actually has some that I sent from my store.
I'll drop a link in the description.
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate it. And actually,
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple bottles of that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take it home and dump it directly in that tank because I am still getting a little bit of signs of ick that they might still be there, but I'm also really curious to see if this will kill all of the fry.
You'll be the first one actually I know testing it in fresh water. Everybody that I have using it right now is using it in salt water because it is so much harder with that. But for fresh water, for how much that cost on Amazon, I want to say it is $40 for 250 gallons. Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's like $33 or something American, $34 American, something like that. But yeah, it's for the cost of it to do that tank. And when you're using it, don't stop using it until all signs are done.
Fish look healthy.
The fish are super healthy. All the fish eat like pigs, and there's just that scratching.
And that stuff's in there.
That stuff is in there.
Awesome. All right, man, I got to get running. I'm going to take this. I'm going to try it on my tanks. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yep.
So when I got home, you can kind of notice the reason I wanted to treat this tank with something. The fish look listless, washed out, hanging around the surface of the tank, and just not looking good overall. I added 4 capfuls, which treated about 28 gallons, and that's technically how much water's in the tank, and just left it be. I came out today, And I noticed that we still have fry in the tank. I think they've either started eating them even more, but there clearly still some in there. Like this little guy here. This is the first time I ever left the fry in with the parents, but the parents are fine, the fish are fine, and the fish, if you look at them, look absolutely beautiful now. It was the yellow Akara that had ick. And even though they're being chased around, they're no longer as washed out or anything like that. Near the top of the tank now, waiting to kind of be fed. But it seems to me like this stuff is did a little bit of something. I'd love to have had ick in the tank, but I'm going to start using this as my quarantine procedure, just having it in the quarantine tank at all time. Because guys, I don't know if you know, here in Nova Scotia, especially here in Canada, we don't have access to medications. So this is a big game changer, especially for the reef hobby, being able to treat your tank with the coral still in it. But I'm going to leave a link in the description below, which I never do to products, because I don't really want to push something that I don't know if it works for sure or not, but that's what I want to see what you guys do, is grab a bottle of this, treat your tank with it, and let me know what happens. Because this could be big, not only for Canadian hobbyists, but of course, even American hobbyists or reef keepers especially. So I'm really excited about this. Again, looks fine to me, and that's that. Yeah, I needed to do something. I want to put these guys in their main aquarium, and I'm happy to know that I added it and didn't do anything for the fry. But to be honest with you, there's less fry than yesterday, and I think that because this also helps with appetite, maybe it made the parents hungry and this backfired on me. I don't know. Let me know if you guys want to see me tour fellow hobbyists locally aquariums in the future. I'd definitely be interested in doing that. But just want to make sure you guys enjoy this video as well, because I really like doing them. See you guys in the next video.